Hello guys, today we're going to talk about how to set up a snare. Now there are several things that you need to be aware about setting up snares. First of all, some states have certain regulations and laws requiring the use of hunting snares for trapping wild game. Make sure that you know your state's laws and you follow them, because you could end up in a lot of hot water if you don't follow those rules. Another thing is that you always want to pull up any snares that you put out immediately after, when you're not using them anymore. You don't want to leave snares out unattended too long, and you sure as heck don't want to leave them out for somebody, for an animal to get in them that's off season, or that you don't intend to trap. So you never want to leave a snare wherever it is and just never come back to it. The snares need to be watched, because whatever animal you catch, you want to get it as fresh as possible after catching it. And also, if you have an animal that you don't want to hunt, you can let it go. Or if it's an animal that you do want, and it's still alive, you can put it down properly and humanely. We don't want to harm and cause undue stress on animals and so forth. But anyway, the first thing when setting up a snare is you have to know where the animals are and where they're traveling. Now, one thing you want to look for is game trails. Game trails are little paths that animals naturally use when going between wherever they're sleeping in water sources or traveling over land. They tend to take the path of least resistance. So, I've scouted around a little bit and I've come across a game trail. Now, as you notice, the grass is packed down, going back off into the woods and coming in here to an open area. And along this path is where your animals are traveling. So what you want to do is kind of look along the trails and think, okay, well, where's a good spot where I can set up a barrier so that the animal has to travel through my snare in order to get, continue on down the path. But at the same time, you want to do it so it remains the trail, so the animal may not even notice the snare and continue to travel through, not realizing what's going on. But you still want to have that choke point, because some animals just kind of trudge through and they follow the trail generally, but unless there's an obstacle or something, they'll keep going. After examining this trail a little bit, I came across this one little spot where there's a natural hedge material here that's kind of blocking the trail. Over here it looks like it could use a little bit of help in barricading, but probably my gut suspicion is it's not too much to worry about. Another nice thing about this spot is that there's a tree, a little baby tree that's growing up here, okay, that can be bent over and used as a support structure for the snare. Also as a tie-off point, because it has a good root base into the ground. I don't have to stick any sticks into the ground or anything. So the first thing you want to do is you want to take this area right here, kind of clear it out a little bit, down to the ground, not too much. And you want to be able to take this stick, I'd go about this high, and just take it and bend it over. Okay. Now that's a support area for what you're snaring. Now, in my pocket, I have a standard metal snare. It's designed to catch game anywhere from rabbits, whatever you think you might need. Now you'll notice the snare has a lock on it, and it just sits there like that. When you hold it. Should something catch this, that locks and prevents the snare from reopening. But at the same time, you can still undo it and let whatever it is out. See, if something tries to catch the animal, it hooks there and won't let them go. So mainly what you're doing is you're getting that snare and you're going to hold it over the hole. Now you notice you've got this little bit here. Now what size animal you're going to catch is what you want to do the hole size. Now in this particular instance, I've got this is probably broke this over just a little bit too short. In fact, I'm going to, there. Just bring that down just a little bit. That's your cross member there. And we're going to try to catch rabbits or something. We want that snare to be about the size big enough to get their hole in. You can get their legs in there and their head, but not any more bigger than that. So what we're going to do, take a piece of bank line, which I've got some here in my pocket. Got my knife here. This knife's seen better days. Anyway, we're going to take this, cut a piece off. And what I'm going to do is take this, loop it like that. So I got a tie-off spot there. I'm on just that. Pull this up here. Loop that around there. And I'm going to take this and tie this off. And basically that's my support spot to hold that up. Okay, now this other end, you're probably wondering, well, what do I do with that? Well, this is why you wanted this little tree branch here. You're going to take a good long piece right here. You can cut. And you're going to tie this end right on here. And I recommend you use a good old square knot. good and strong. Just tie that right there. And over here, what you're going to do is you're going to want to tie the clove-tail hitch. And then that'll be good and tight. Should something actually catch the snare. And basically what'll happen is, make sure you got that adjusted to the right height and so forth. And take you some leaves, underbrush and whatnot. Kind of fill that in a little bit. You can cover up that wire. Some people take and they cook cover their wire in an oil to, to get rid of the reflectivity and so forth. But I'll be honest with you, most animals can't even see that stuff. Especially when they're going through, they're coming in at night and there ain't much going on. But basically, here's your game path. Here's your natural barrier. And that's all there is to it. And the animal will come through, get its neck in there, body will hit that, pull tight, and you got yourself an animal. It's really not rocket science. And just about anybody can do this. Now, if you don't have these metal snares, you can also do that with a bank line. Just have the string come out, have a good knot there, slip knot, have it looped in there, and something comes along, sticks their head, and it pulls tight, it'll do the same thing. It's just these are a little nicer because, they got the nice lock on there, and they're easy to clean and reuse. But anyway, that's all there is to it. Now, make sure that when you remove this kind of stuff, you want to make sure that you take and get everything that you had picked up. Now you got that clove tail hitch that comes undone real quick. Take your stick, undo that. See, that's real easy. You just undo that one little knot. That comes off. Take your stick, clear away from the game trail. Now, you can leave this here, okay, and an animal coming through here won't see anything changed. So, you can leave this back, the animals keep coming through here. As long as you set this up similar to the way you did, it'll look just like it did, and that's really all there's to it. Now, of course, you can, unfortunately, I got a little cable here in the way, so it's kind of hard to get that away, because otherwise you wouldn't hear me. But, ignoring that, so you see it's pretty simple. Anyway, that's all there is to it, and hopefully that's something you can try. Get out. If you need a permit, go get the permit. Here in this state, permit's only $15 per year. You can have up to 30 traps out at one time. And I think the only requirement is you put your license on the trap, a little tag, which you can buy little metal tags that you get your number printed on there and put on. In fact, another popular way of doing it is to get dog tag, a black dog tag, imprinted with your trapper number, and have that on the trap. Anyway, that's all there is to it. Hopefully it's been useful to you. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. If you saw something you didn't think was right, let me know. I mean, this is just the way I learned to do it, and it's what works for me. I've caught many little animals doing that. But, you know, leave your comments and suggestions. Maybe improve my method. You know, there's other ways of trapping, you know, making various trigger snares and so forth. I might make a few videos on those, but I usually try to avoid those because some of those can be a little dangerous to, you know, people and animals that you don't want to trap. But you know, for basic trapping where you don't want to hurt the skin and, you know, and fur and whatnot, and you want to have the meal, this is the best way to do it and the simplest way to do it. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more, click subscribe. You can also click on the bell icon to receive notifications when we upload new videos. If you have questions or suggestions for new videos, please leave a comment down below. You can also consider supporting us on Patreon, or you can join us on our Discord server. The links will be in the description below.